Hey everyone, it's Dios, and this is the second day of World's Play-ins, and the first game is between Peace from Oceania against Hanawa Gaming. From the ban phase, I didn't like this Nidalee ban because I've said on my Champions tier list that, yeah, maybe Graves and Nidalee are strong in this meta, but there are stronger champions as well, and I don't think that if Peace picked Nidalee that they would be dangerous enough. But maybe because they wanted to avoid the Nidalee Renekton combo, maybe that's why they banned Nidalee. But again, this year's Renekton is very weak compared to last year. Anyway, this is a Chovy ban, this is a Chovy ban again, because that's how Hanwha as a team are playing. Camille is also for the top side, but it can go mid from Chovy. Chovy can play anything actually. And so we have a first pick Irelia, which is a really nice comp, which is a really nice champion. They immediately start with a very strong S tier pick. And for the side of Hanwha, first of all, I don't like this interface. It makes it confusing on the picks mostly. So this is the first pick of Hanwha. It's a Misfortune, and I believe like this is the 9th game of Worlds so far, and in the 8 out of 9 games we've seen Misfortune played from the teams on blue side. So usually, on the teams on the red side. So usually teams on the blue side, they always give priority into a solo lane champion or a jungler S tier champion, and then teams on the red side respond with MF as their first pick. And we all know that MF matches well with Leona and Amumu. So this pick with Talia, and I mentioned it also on my video on Champions tier list, I said that Talia was buffed, and it's a smart pick because it can also be flexed in the mid lane from players who can play mages well in the mid lane. But these 3 champions, maybe with Leona here instead of Amumu, because Leona is more unpredictable. Amumu telegraphs his stance more often, and then Leona can actually be more unpredictable and has more stance than Amumu. Well, not more stance, because now Amumu that has his Q on low cooldown, it's like having 2 abilities with stun plus his ultimate. Anyway, my point is that these 3 champions, or Misfortune, Talia and Leona, are one of the strongest combos that you can have as a team. And so these first 3 picks for Hanwha are great. Like, I really like them. On the other hand, Peace went with Lilia. Okay, I accept it. But like I said, I don't want to see in these worlds Graves, Nidalee and Lilia again like last year. Anyway, so overall they have an engage comp, full engage comp. And the thing is, here in the first pick phase, they didn't know, Hanwha didn't know if Renekton was going to be on the mid lane or in the top lane, but judging by Vizicsacsi, I don't consider Vizicsacsi one of the best Irelia players, so this was most likely Irelia on the mid lane and Renekton on the top lane, which is why Hanwha went with Azir for Chovy, even though he doesn't like the champion much, but he played Azir in the LCK regional finals, and yesterday he played this champion once, so it seems that it's one of his go-to picks when he wants to pick an ability-powered champion or a mage. And because Peace, like I said, they have an engaged comp, Azir is one of the best disengaged champions. And the last pick for Hanwha is this Aatrox, but against the Renekton, but like the old Renekton, the season 10 Renekton before the hard nerfs this season, could beat Aatrox easily. I haven't seen this matchup a lot since the Aatrox buffs, so I'm not sure what's the matchup will look like. But overall, like from the previous seasons when Renekton was, in his strong form, he could beat Aatrox in the top lane. And now, judging by these comps, like I said, this is a full engaged comp for Peace, and Hanwha have a lot of disengaged comps as well, and they have Amumu, Azir and Aatrox as blockers to protect Misfortune against these full engage comps. And as for the solo lanes, like for example Irelia versus Azir, Somebody could say that it depends on who is playing Kazir and who is playing Irelia. So I have to comment, even though I like to comment on the drafts just how they look on paper. I can't ignore the fact that this Azir is played from Chovy and Irelia is played from Tali. Tali might be a talented mid laner overall, but he's not on Chovy's level. And on the top side, Vizicacci had a bad game yesterday with GP. He got completely destroyed from Ale, which was playing Fiora, if I'm not mistaken. So again, Morgan is not one of the best top laners in this tournament, but nevertheless, he's a Korean player. He's a mid-tier Korean player, and Korea and LCK are stronger region than the Oceania one. So Vizicacci is also a substitute for Peace. So even if Renekton can beat Aatrox overall, I believe that the players behind the champions will also play a significant role into this laning phase, like how the laning phase will go. So let's jump into the game. And this game was a stomp for Hanwha. Wheeler was playing for his bot lane all early game, so now they're zoning out Peace bot lane, and at the same time, Tali has to stay here, so he's low on HP, he's low on mana, but he can't reset because Chovy will crash his wave into Tali's turret, and Tali will be forced to use his teleport to just catch the wave in his turret in order to not miss any CS. So Tali here stays in the lane just to not be forced to teleport, to recall and then teleport, and he's trying to keep up on the CS department with Chovy. So here Chovy found this window, and this is like what I said in the draft phase. I don't know about the Irelia versus Zed matchup in the laning phase, like which champion is stronger and which champion was supposed to win, but I know that it's Chovy versus Tali, and Chovy is one of the best mid laners in the whole tournament. So he found a small window and he solo killed Tali in the mid lane, as talented as he is. And even though we don't see a lot of solo kills on the mid lanes, I mean, like I said, Tali didn't have a lot of options. He didn't want to recall and reset because he would have to burn his teleport. He stayed in lane and he got punished. And because of Wheeler's pressure in his bot lane, first of all, before the skirmish starts, look at the CS difference from Distrana and Misfortune. Because of all the zoning from Wheeler shadowing his bot lane, Deft had managed to have a tremendous amount of CS advantage. I'm not sure if there is a bug in Tristana's CS. Maybe he has more, but nevertheless he's losing, and that's why he's one level behind. He's level 4 compared to Deft being level 5. So here we had a skirmish, a 2 versus 2, and Hanwha's bot lane know that they are stronger, and even though they are pushing, they don't mind diving Peace into their turret. But this was a smart W from Tristana. So as soon as Tristana gets stunned from Amumu's, gets hit from Amumu's Q, he used his W in order to drag Amumu into her tower, and for Amumu to get hit from tower. So that was a really smart play from Violet. But Vista also had a nice cancellation on Tristana's W. He caught Violet as he was jumping in with his Q, and then Wheeler again covers his bottom lane. So it's a 2 for 1, and of course the one kill that Peace got was on their support. So they want to kill Deft. So a complete win for Hanwha here, and as you can see, they are already 2k gold ahead before we hit the 10-minute mark of the game. Here we have a 1v1 with the top laners, but yeah, I mean, Hanwha are really starting to get ahead by having 2k gold lead. And as I was saying this, Peace, since they know that they lost bot lane, they're trying to make a play and plan a dive on the top lane, but Vista, as the engage supports like to do, they usually like to roam. I mean, now that Deft has so much advantage in the bottom lane, he has completed his first item, Yomu's Ghostblade, and like he has double CS advantage over Violet. So of course Vista can have free time to roam in the map, and he read the situation that Peace knew that the only way to plan a dive and to make a play was on Hanwha's top side, so he covered Aatrox, and at the end of the day, it was only 1 kill in favor of Hanwha, and now they almost have 3k gold lead. And because I was pausing, let's watch the replays again. So nice W from Tristana pulling Amumu in tower, but then nice stun for Vista, interrupting Tristana's second W. And then Wheeler helps Deft finish off these kills, and they don't mind diving them under turret. I mean, they're 1 level ahead, so they don't care. And for some reason, as I was saying this, Violet decided to jump into Deft for a shutdown maybe, but Wheeler is again close by. He's shadowing his bot lane, so they turn this skirmish around. I mean, Peace tried to go for a kill here to shut down Deft and try to, you know, reduce the gold advantage that he had and the minions advantage, but now it got worse because Wheeler was shadowing them. Bobby hasn't even tried to go to his bottom lane and help, because, I mean, they can, they're far behind, so it's not worth to help your losing lane as a jungler. So here, did he got up Deft? Let's see. I mean, Deft doesn't have any mana. Okay, they finally were able to kill him, but it doesn't matter because you can see the gold lane and bottom lane is lost. Violet can never recover, and even with this shutdown that they did to Deft, because they're going back to the lane anyway. And now we have a 1v1 situation with Morgana versus Vizicsacsi, and again Wheeler is on the right spot to cover his side lane that which is fighting. And the reason why I believe that Aatrox was winning this 1v1 duel before Wheeler came out to help to finish the kill is because his itemization is better. He went for the steel plate boots to have more armor, and because Aatrox have a lot of health regeneration from his ultimate, having armor with the steel plate boots, having an additional armor with the steel plate boots is helping him tremendously, even though he has been 20 CS behind. And Vizicsacsi, I mean, again, I'm gonna say it. This guy was supposed to be a positional coach for Armut, and yet now that he's playing like competitively himself, he can't build properly, and he got punished from that. And Talia didn't even get an assist, so this counts as a solo kill because Morgan, one, is more talented, and second, he had better atomization at this point. Because he was respecting Renekton's damage, even though Renekton is fully nerfed this season, and on the other hand, Vizicsacsi thought that he could deal with Aatrox. This was a nice kill from Peace, because if we look at the minimap right now, the next objective is a dragon. It's coming up in 18 seconds. So usually you would expect that Hanwha will pick the bot side of the map as their strong side in order for them to contest the dragon. So Peace knows that. They know that bot lane is lost. They're not gonna. They can't make a play against Chovy. And most likely, most of Hanwha's players will be around the dragon area in order to make it the strong side and contest it. That's why they're trying to make a play on the other side of the map. So here they're setting a dive for Morgan, and even though Wheeler clearly showed up in the lane, here Babip flashes and slips Talia, and they manage to take a shutdown on her. But the rest of Hanwha's players, instead of being at the dragon, they are there as well. So even though it was a nice thinking from Peace players, because they didn't have a lot of options, they couldn't contest dragon. They would get baited into dragon and they would die. So they tried to make the best out of this hard situation, but Hanwha's players were smart enough to read them. And the reason why they covered their top laner instead of being in the dragon, because the dragon now has spawned, but nobody from Hanwha is there. The reason why they did that is because they were 4k gold ahead. They had a 3.5, I think, or 4k gold lead. So they thought that, okay, Peace only has a small window to make a dive into Aatrox and take the top lane turret. So if we have this gold, why not counter them in the only small play that they can make and then take the dragon? And that's what they did. They played it really smartly. They checkmated Peace at this point. I mean, look at the gold difference. It's 5k gold lead for Hanwha. And from that point on, they can always choose which side of the map will be the strong side. They can still piece jungle camps, so piece cannot farm, they cannot rotate, they cannot choose a side lane to push, as we're watching the replay. So yeah, you can see that Vista and Deft are moving in top side to help their teammates because of what I said. I mean, why not counterplay piece in the only small window that they have, and then checkmate them completely. So that's what happened, and from this point on, the game was a stomp for Hanwha. I'm gonna show you one more team fight which they kind of threw, that Peace played it well, but from this point on, like I said, Peace don't have any other windows. Hanwha will always be first on tempo, even if Peace managed to be first in tempo and pick a strong side, they can't really do that because they're losing they're so much behind in gold. So Hanwha have more strong items. So even if Peace finds a good spot for a team fight, they are behind in atomization as well, so Hanwha will crush them. And also it's because of the team compositions. Hanwha have a lot of tools to disengage the engage composition of Peace. And now they got this Herald, which is going to be translated into more turrets and more golds and so on. You see, now that Hanwha are controlling the map and the next objective is Dragon, they are the ones who are always going to pick their strong side. So now they're picking the bot side of the map as their strong side because Dragon is coming up, and Peace cannot do anything about that. They can't find any picks, they can't outplay Hanwha, and even in this teamfight, they got crushed completely because Hanwha have more gold and more items than them, so they couldn't do anything. And this will be the last teamfight that I'm going to show you, the best teamfight that Peace was able to find. So first, let's do the usual counting of the items. So Renekton, 1 item. Morgan on Aatrox, 2 items. Talia, 2 items. Lilia, 1 item, 1.5 actually, 1.5. Irelia, 2 items. Chovy, 2.5 items. MF, 2 items, actually 2.5. And Tristana, 1.5 items. Okay, so you can see the gold lead that I was talking about, like almost the 10k gold lead that Hanwha have gained at this point, translate into more item spikes in favor of them. So that's why even if Peace find a good team fight, they can't do anything after that. So here, based on Peace information that they have, they know that Chovy is on the top side, Aatrox is on bot side, and here, even though they don't clearly see, they know that somewhere here, they can see Vista, but they know that Deft and Wheeler are somewhere around here. And because Babip found a nice ball into Wheeler, so now they watch Wheeler as well because Lilia caught him with her ball. They have to pull the trigger immediately. So he flashes in, and they find a good team fight. But like I said, they're so far behind that even in this team fight, I mean, it was nice from them pulling the trigger, but all they managed to do was just delay the Baron from Hanwha. That's it. They didn't gain anything from that. They couldn't turn the game around, but I just wanted to show you that at least they found a good team fight, because I don't want to say that, okay, the game is over, Hanwha is a better team, we all knew that they would win this game, and that's it. I want to also show you that, like, players at this level, even when they are behind, they don't give up. They try to find small windows, but when they are so far behind in gold and items, they can't really take advantage. Even if they find small team fights and they win these fights, they can't do much in the game. So I'm just waiting for the replay here. But yeah, it was a stomp nevertheless for Hanwha, and they're moving to 2-1. Okay. They didn't show the replay from that team fight. You can just rewind my video back when I was commenting on it. So yeah, like I said, it was a stomp for Hanwha, and they're moving to 2-1. Thanks for watching. GG.